What's up, everybody? I got a chance to play South of Midnight early, and I'm super excited to tell you what I enjoyed about it, what I didn't like about it, and what's my rating. Out of 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the highest, what is DDS rating? So let's get right into it. Shout out again to Xbox and Compulsion Games for giving me a chance to play this game early. I had a good time playing it. I've been excited about South of Midnight since and they released it at whatever showcase it was. It was an amazing trailer. And I felt really connected to it because I am from Louisiana. I have been to New Orleans. I live in North Louisiana, but I got family in South Louisiana. I got Cajun in my family. I was just enamored, okay, by the game once they announced it. Once I saw the catfish, I knew what time it was. I was like, oh, this got some voodoo, right? So I was really hyped to check out the game. So when I got the email to get a chance to play the game early, I was 100% all in. So let's talk about what I enjoyed about South of Midnight and what I didn't like. One of the first things I enjoyed about South of Midnight, man, the amazing soundtrack. When I tell you every piece of music works with this game, every piece of music worked. I did not have a song I didn't like. I did not have something that I was like, man, I wish they didn't play this song. No, I enjoyed every bit of music coming from this game. And there were sometimes I'm fighting and I'm like, yo, I want to hear this song, but I can't hear the song because I got to be careful because I don't want to die, right? So I really enjoyed the music within the game, the audio design as far as the effects when you unravel an enemy. Perfecto. I love all of it. It gives you that dopamine hit, gives you a little bit of like, yeah, I did that. There were some times when you could just see it in my face. I was just hyped to get a chance to unravel an enemy. So I really, really, really did enjoy the soundtrack and the sound design, the ambiance that the game gives you. There's some parts where you're like, yo, I really feel like I'm in a swamp in Louisiana. Now, I know the two-toed Tom or whatever the gator's name is. Yeah, that's a Florida myth and folklore and all that. But in my mind, this game was made in Louisiana, okay? Maybe it was made in Florida, but for me, it was in Louisiana, okay? Let me have my immersion, all right? So I enjoyed the audio design. I enjoyed the soundtrack. Man, I'm telling you right now, if I can get the soundtrack on vinyl, I'm getting it, okay? Compulsion Games, you want to send me the vinyl? Feel free, okay? Because I'm telling you, that is some of the best soundtrack music in a game. I feel like I said that all wrong, but it doesn't matter. That is the best soundtrack within a game I've ever heard. Maybe it's because of my Louisiana connection, my Southern connection with the jazz, my heart connection with the jazz, and just music in general. I even felt like there was a little Zydeco in there. I don't know. Either way, I enjoyed it. The sound design and the soundtrack were amazing. In my opinion, 10 out of 10 for both of those. If you want to separate them, you just want to put them all in sound design, still a 10 out of 10. So let's talk about the one thing everybody wants to know about: combat. Now, I'll be honest, the combat to me threw me off at first, but once you start getting used to it, once you start getting used to pressing certain buttons, use certain abilities, it became a lot easier. There were times I found myself chaining combo attacks and just completely unleashing on one enemy, and sometimes forgetting the other enemies are there and getting attacked by them. But at the end of the day, I still won. I only died maybe 3 times in the game. I honestly think I saw the game in the screen. I think it says failed. I only saw maybe 3 times within the game. So with that, I actually enjoyed the fact that I could do combat, play it the way I want to play it. If I want to just dodge the entire time, I can dodge, wait for opening, I can do that. Or if I just want to be flat out aggressive and dodge at the last minute, I can do that. Or I just want to let Crouton take over and fight enemies for me. I can do that too. So I like the fact there are multiple ways you can fight and defeat enemies. So that to me was just perfect. I really did enjoy the combat. And I honestly, being honest, I don't have anything I would change about the combat. There's one part, but I feel like if I say that, that's a spoiler. So we're not going to talk about this. This is a spoiler free review. Okay, just want to make sure you know that. So let's talk about the story. This story is heavy. Like, it's very heavy. They do give you a content warning at the beginning of the game. I personally did not read it. Okay, that's on me. I take the blame for that. But the content warning, I will let you know there are some things that can be triggering. But I like the fact that they tied it in the game so well. It felt like every traumatic thing that was in the game flows. There's nothing that's like, hey, let's just add this just to add this. No, everything within the game flowed. Every traumatic event felt like it was connected to the game. And again, this is spoiler free, so I'm trying my best not to say anything about the trauma that you can experience through this, but just know that there are some trigger warnings within this. Definitely want to be careful. The story, though, other than that, the trauma part, freaking unbelievable. Like, I really felt myself immersed in the story. I felt like I could just be Hazel in certain moments. So if you don't know, for those of you that don't know, a little bit about the story. This is you read the synopsis. Hazel is trying to find her mom. That's the best way I can put it, spoiler free, right? She's trying to find her mom. She has to go through this crazy stuff to find her mom. And throughout the story, you find out more about their relationship, which is really, really cool. I like the fact that they tapped into that side of it. It's not just, hey, I'm looking at everybody else trauma. I'm also exploring my own. So I did enjoy the fact that the story tapped into Hazel's trauma and tapped into her healing as well. So that was really good. Great job, the Compulsion Games and the studio writers or whatever. They did a really, really good job capturing the emotion and making sure that it's not just trauma dumping, it's more of a trauma and you're healing in a process. So really, really, really cool. Another thing I really enjoyed about this game, the level design. There were some parts of the game where I would just stop and just look around. Like the fact that you could see the animals that you expect to see in a swamp. You know, there were possums, there were even deer at one point. There were bears, a lot of hares, a lot of animals that you expect to see, even some gators and things like that. Like to be able to see that being where I'm from, you don't get to see that in the game often. Like you really don't get to see true Louisiana in a game often. So to be able to see that in a game and actually feel like it's authentic, it really, really, really meant a lot to me. I was really connected to the level design, but that's not all that I liked about the level design, though. The fact that, so while you're playing the game, there's obviously going to be things hidden. And the way they hide things is just, it's, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say perfect. 'Cause I don't want to say perfect a lot, but it's done very, very well. And there's ways that you have to figure out how to get to certain things. And I like the fact that you have to do that. It reminds me a little bit of platforming in a way for some of the items. And other ones felt like hide and go seek, and other ones is just like, hey, it's right here. So I love the fact that you're able to just really kind of get lost in exploration, even though it's not completely open world, more of a linear slash open design in a sense. But the fact that you can explore and find things, I love that. I really did love the level design of the game. So it was really good. But I talked about enough of the good stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff. Okay. And I'm gonna be honest. For me, this is my personal opinion. There was only one bad thing that I kept dealing with. And I got to be honest, I played it on the PC and I also played like one or two chapters on the Xbox. I can't remember how many chapters I played on Xbox. For both, there were some frame rate drop issues. And what I mean is, it'll look like it stutters or lags, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just gonna call it frame rate drop. You call it whatever you want. I'm not a technical reviewer. I'm just telling you my experience. So the frame rate would drop or it would stutter, it would lag, and it did break the immersion for me a few times. And when you watch my Let's Play, you can actually see me get a little annoyed about it. At one point, I said, "Look, let me just switch to the Xbox. Maybe my PC just can't handle OBS and the game at the same time. Maybe it's something with me. Maybe I did some wrong. My room, just being honest, my room gets too hot, and sometimes the CPU does overheat. So I was like, okay, maybe it's user error. Let me get on the Xbox. Still has some of the same issues on the Xbox Series S. So I hope they optimize the game a little bit more to stop the frame rate dropping. But I will say, when I did get back on the PC again, I changed my recording settings to something totally different just to see if it was recording. My encoder did not overheat at all during the recording. My CPU did not go above 70. I think maybe let's just say 75. It didn't go above 75. When I was using the other one, it would hit 80, sometimes 85, hitting that danger zone. So I'm assuming a little bit of user error on the frame rate drop. So that's my opinion. Maybe it was not me. Maybe it was me. I don't know. But the last I think three chapters, I think chapter 12, 13, and 14, I actually was able to play the game without much frame rate drop. I think it dropped like maybe once. I didn't lose my immersion at all. So that a little bit of a positive to me, because maybe it is user error. Maybe it is DDS doesn't know what he's doing and he screwed it up. Okay, maybe that's what it is. But at the end of the day, being completely honest, the frame rate drop did not hurt the score as bad as I thought it would. Because at the end of the day, I still had fun. I was still able to play the game. And I was still able to get re-immersed in the game. So just one of the cons I had. Hopefully they do optimize the game a little bit more with them. Sure, there's going to be a day one patch and things like that. So that's kind of my con. And honestly, that's the only con. I had no issues with the story. I had no issues with the soundtrack, no issue with sound design, no issues with stage design, no issues with the characters, the way they're drawn, or anything. I had no issues whatsoever with anything else. Obviously, with some of the stage design, there's a glitch here and there, but that's every game, so I don't count that against the score. So let's get to the bottom line. Let's get to the bottom line. What is the final rating that DDS is going to give the game? What does DDS think the game is, with 1 being the worst, 10 being the best? What rating would I give the game? Now, I will tell you, I agonized over this because I didn't want to give it too high a score, but I also didn't want to give it too low a score. I want it to be completely fair, and I broke down everything, which you can see in my Let's Play at the end of chapter 14, which is the final chapter in the game. I agonized over this for nearly like 5-6 minutes. What did I want my final rating to be? At the end of the day, this is my opinion. This is my rating. This is what I'm giving it. So my rating is 8.5. That's my rating for South to Midnight. I enjoyed it. I had a blast. Would I play this again? Not right now. And the reason being, I have to forget the story, because otherwise the story becomes boring to me. So I already know what's going to happen. So I have to kind of forget the story before I play it again. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here bored, and I don't want to do that. So right now, I would not play it again. But would I play it again in the future? Sure. If I have some free time and gaming hits a lull, which probably will not happen, by the way. But gaming hits a lull, or just like, you know what? I want to play South to Midnight again, see how it holds up. Yeah, I would totally play it again. Now, if I did not have the frame rate drop issues, I would totally give it a 9 out of 10. But I'm going to take 0.5 off just for the frame rate drops. Honestly, in my opinion, game of the year contender for me. Definitely game of the year contender. It's really, really good game. Great story, great sound. If anything, they should win a reward for the soundtrack alone. This soundtrack, I need it. Okay, Compulsion Games. If you're watching this video, hope you are. If you are, by the way, like and subscribe and comment and share and all that stuff. We need that, even if you're not Compulsion Games. But send me the vinyl, man. Let's talk. I'll do an unboxing. I'll do what do I need to do to get the vinyl? I need it. Okay, don't tell me to buy it. I will buy it, but Let's work together. Let's talk. But yeah, that's my review of the game. 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed this game, man. I don't have any complaints except for the frame rate drops. Other than that, no complaints. I've been racking my brain trying to find a complaint. No complaints. There are no complaints at all. So thank you again, Xbox and Compulsion Games, for allowing me to play this game early. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. And if you did and you're not subscribed, go ahead and smack that subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys on the next review. Also, check out my Let's Play because that was a fun game. And there are some moments where you definitely want to see it. So thank you again. Catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy.